Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, Legendary, Division 2. This is normally when I say this is one of those groups. We've already wiped once. You know, if you watch me do Legendary Roosevelt, I come over to this section. The problem is when you're playing with lower level folks and that no one here is like above 200, they tend to follow you. And this is the wrong place for us to fight from. And so we wiped earlier. I had a really powerful, my skill-based DPS build. And although we need the DPS, I need to keep, we don't have enough DPS to put the pressure on them. So I switched to my Vial Jammer build, which is basically a skill build with a Vial Mask using the Jammer Pulse to put a status effects, which then triggers the Vial, and then I have a turret. So I'm trying to put out maximum pressure on the enemy and hoping that my teammates, we don't wipe again. This took over an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes to do this. So I've sped it up and cut out a bunch of sections. And if you've seen some of my recent Division 2 videos, they were, you know, I had some flawless runs. One of the groups was somewhat low powered, maybe not as low powered as this one. One of the things that you always got to consider is you don't want to bunch up with grenadiers available out in the field because one shot wipes out your group. So I then move away. Now, the problem with me moving away, one of the reasons I go up there is so that I can pulse them. This is one of the disadvantages of having a pickup group in that we're not on the chat. I don't want to be that douchey guy that tells them I need to be up here for my stuff. We're just going to do it. All right, so we go into the next section, and one of the problems that we have throughout this is you can see that we have one person that initiates the action every time before we get set up. And what happens is then that's an example. So what you want to do, even though it might take 5 more seconds, you want to make sure everyone's ready to do it and then go ahead. Yeah, we're just in an absolute bad spot. And this is not having enough pressure. So my build in this point is to put pressure, so I can't put pressure with an AoE pulse that's in a circle, not in a cone or a straight line. So then I'm going to have to change my build up to go to a skill build. And as you know, I play a lot of legendaries. I played like a normal. I shepherd with someone, did a normal. I'm not going to show you that. It's ridiculous how easy those things are. Heroics are easy. I'm going to show you this content. And this is one of those contents where the group kind of struggles, and that's good. That's where you get some learning moments from that. And you got to wonder what's coming up next is once we get past this part, we have those snipers. And if you have someone triggering the ads at first, you're going to have that dog's going to be out. I've got to change my build. I'm going to normally my skill build has a turret and a drone. I'm going to have to change that to a turret, and I'm going to use a pulse. You're going to see that guy goes up there, and we're going to start this already. I'm not even set up yet. And we're starting way back here, which is okay. Part of this is in everything in life, you have to get the situation and you have to adapt to the circumstances. And one of the things is making a proper assessment of what you're going to need in an unknown situation. So what kind of build do you think I should have coming up next? This section is really 2 portions. There's this first half on this side of the opening. Once you finish this side has a bunch of minions, 1 dog, a couple of snipers, and eventually you have rushers and you have drones. So this isn't so bad to have the Vial Jammer build. And one of the great things about the division, you can, if in some of these legendaries, you have enough time to switch out your build so that you can get the right build to the right situation. And this is a tenuous moment. This is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe, comment, or hit the notifications. Trying to get up. I owe you guys 2 videos. I'm going to work on one of them today. I keep promising you the laptop review. I have started doing some of the work for that. But the other view was something special. Something came up. So I'm still going to give you the video, but it might not be exactly how I wanted to give it to you, but it's going to be different. Now, one of the things I didn't show you is this person, these guys have died before, but they stayed in place and waited for someone to res them, and they're in an exposed place. So what they've done at this point, they move back to me now. And that's one of the things when you're ever in a group, you don't want to just stay where you are. You want to try to move. Unless you're out of fire anyways, then you can stay there. But a lot of times, if you're in cover, you want to move a little bit away from cover so that the person doesn't have to get out of cover. See, that guy does a great job right there. So one of the things about all these groups, which I appreciate, is we learn as we go. And that's important. And I'm going to go back and get this guy as well. And so in all these team building situations, or all these, you're assessing a situation and making changes based on what your current situation is. So here we are. This is part 2 of this section of the map. I have put out a turret, and then I have the artificer hive that's going to power that turret. The mechanics in this section of the map are, when the helicopters come down, one lands on this side with 2 chargers, and on the other side is a chunga. The chungas in Legendary also spray out hive, so they kind of have 2 mechanics. They're heavily armored and have a machine gun, but then they also have this hive bleed mechanic. When people are this low, they probably haven't done this Legendary, so the results are going to be predictable. Why did I do the choice that we need to do? This is a DPS check. In this skill DPS build, whether you like the holster or not, I have waveform as the holster, and then I have the other chest piece that lets you, it oscillates back and forth until both pieces are going to give you 30%. So this is an oscillating skill power build. I don't have the drone. I just have everything to maximize my turret. And so you're going to see what the results are. The other thing in this build, I have perfect shock and awe, which means when I put a status effect on someone, I get a 20% benefit. It's the last icon to the left in my row of icons. It lasts for 27 seconds. And then I use test subject to put additional DPS out there. So that's the mechanic for me. In a little lull, I'm going to pick up the instruments. I'm going to let my artificer charge back up. Here come the folks. This is the first helo. That's Roxy. And the dogs are jumping. Roxy, and there's Macy, and then Caesar's up there too. And everyone's flying off the handle. That's great. Since that first helo came in, guys, that's Macy here. Since that first, hey, don't do it. I'm recording. So you can see the chunga coming, and that's the other part of the first set of helos. 2 more helos are going to come. Sometimes they come together. Sometimes they're staggered. One's going to put someone over on the right side and drop a lieutenant or a sergeant that's going to put down a healing. I like to kill that healing guy first. It makes things go faster. Or number 2, there's helo number 1. I'm going to move back. Now I'm leaving my turret there. And I'm trying to focus on that sergeant. And you can see my folks are dropping. And there's 3. So now all 3 go down. Now this is normally we have, this is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, share. But this is normally when you have a decision. Are you going to just give up and die? But remember what I picked. My turret is getting healed. It's doing more power. And I can do my mechanics. So I just got to kill the Chungas. And that guy's down. So here comes the other one. I'm running out of healing kits. What I'm thinking of in this time, will I continue playing if we wipe again? Because without me explaining to them what the mechanics are, we're going to keep doing this. But I stay with it. And you can see that turret is doing its stuff. You can see I procced shock and awe. And then I'm doing test subject. I just want to make sure I don't get... And at this point, you can see the person put on, hide the radar. Why? Please don't do that. If you've never done a legendary before or you're really low level, don't put any more difficulty on it. It doesn't help you at all. But that's what I got to do. I got to make sure I don't get flanked. I don't have a lot of healing kits. Am I going to make it, YouTube? That's the question. The video's been long enough. We're at 12 minutes. This is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, and share. But as you can see, the Chungers are down. I just got to not screw up now. In the past, this is when I may have gone to heal someone or res them a little bit faster. I'm okay if maybe one person is left because that turret will keep the aggro. The other thing, you can see the Artificer Hive lasted longer because it doesn't have to heal anyone else. It just has to worry about the turret. All right, 2 folks left. Yes, now there's 2 folks left. That guy was a pain. But you kind of see what that sergeant does or whatever it is. That person has that hive. You can just, the healing hive, you can just make things better if you get rid of them at first. And you can see I keep, as my artificer runs out, I keep throwing it back out. So now that it's 1v1, I can go out and take care of my guy. I try to be in cover. And so, hallelujah, YouTube. Hallelujah. So, we're now on the end. We have already wiped once. We jumped over, and in my mind, we don't have enough horsepower. So normally, and I just wait till we go. Normally, I put a decoy out, but this isn't a group that needs a decoy. I need all the DPS I can get. And this is going to be sped up because this is a while. I'm going to show them, in my mind, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to show them that we need to, and I might discuss with them some strategy. And probably the easiest way to do that is to not throw a decoy out because they're going to get Mugambi'd. But the best laid plans of mice and men. I'm going to get Mugambi. So I'm too close. I back up a little bit. That guy comes forward. He can get into cover, and I'm going to get healed again. Sometimes with the drone, it's a pain in the butt because it doesn't attack what you want. I don't know what the mechanics are for it to attack something up in the air. Sometimes it gets, sometimes it doesn't. And there's one of them, and that's pretty much ball game once you get those helos down. Now there's two things left that are going to happen. They're going to get that helo with 3 folks are going to come behind us. So I want to be cognizant of that. And then the chunk is going to come. You also have a pushover from the left side. That's why you want to keep your turret. There's the first. And you see one of the folks went back and tried to get him, so that's great. Now all we got to do is worry about the rushers. So that's a not perfect run. Took an hour, not 25 minutes. But the group of folks, eventually we worked together, we had it going, and you can see they're more in cover. The first ones, they didn't, and they're moving forward. It's okay to be aggressive, but you just got to realize where you're at. So it was a great group. And I want to appreciate all the people helping the channel out. Thank you very much. Still trying to get higher. I owe you a couple of videos, a couple of subjects that I want to talk about. One special and one review of my whoop-de-doo laptop. So thank you, YouTube. This is Ronan Kazi with another Legendary Division 2. Thank you.